money, money, money. I'll ask everyone to get started. Please get to your seats. We will have an interactive session. My name is Melek Polatkonak, and I would like to welcome all of our sisters from all over around the world. And I see we have a few misters. They've stuck around. So thank you for joining us in this last panel of the conference. So on behalf of the host committee, I would like to welcome you all. I think this is our last welcome. We work very hard for you to have a great time. And personally, I try to meet with every single one of you. And if we couldn't, please embrace this virtual hug. My name is Melek Polatkonak. I'm the founder of Turkish Women's International Network, and I'm going to be the moderator of this panel. Turkish Women mobilizes leaders, allies, and women all around the world to help lift the next generation of Turkish leaders, females. We have a booth outside, and in way of doing this, we invite people to action, we use technology, and we say, if she did it, so can I. In partnership with Beba Foundation, to give you an example, we mobilized over 1,800 volunteer mentors, 30% male, to help young women build the careers they love. I'm very excited about this panel. I'll get seated shortly. I'm super excited, so I have to be up. Because my mother told me, money is not everything, but it takes care of a lot of things. And I heard about this a lot because I have a hard time with this lesson. So personally, for me, it's super exciting to hear from our panel. Today we heard about investing, not only from Sally, that AI will change investing in youth and technologies, but also led by Tess, we heard about the different platforms and currencies and cryptos and bitcoins on how to invest. Today, we will learn about individual and entrepreneurial route as organizations how to invest. We'll focus on the how very much. And we are super lucky to have two entrepreneurs, a banker, a platform leader with us. And we will hear from their experiences, and we will leave room for Q&A. We want to make it very interactive. Please, have your questions ready. We're going to leave ample time for that. So I will introduce the panelists one by one, and I don't want to miss anything from their wonderful bios. So I'm going to read our first speaker, and she is a role model. When we think about, role models, we also think about where they come from. So for her hometown, I think she's a rock star, but she's a rock star for us all, Gamze Cizreli. She's not only a rock star, model, and everything else. Look at her. Gamze is the founder and chairperson of Big Chefs, an all-day casual dining restaurant chain. Founded in Ankara in 2007, Big Chefs now operates in 130 locations and in 11 countries. As a woman-led business, the brand is known for its creative use of local farming, its support for women producers, and its strong focus on sustainability. Besides her core business, she's always been a part-time lecturer on entrepreneurship at Middle East Technical University and was one of the jury members of Dragon's Den, broadcasted on Bloomberg TV, and Winning Restaurant on Fox TV. She's a volunteer of all sorts. She's also a member of the host committee. In 2010, 11, 13, and 17, she was named Woman Entrepreneur of Turkey by Economist magazine, a repeat offender of the prize. And most recently, she was selected to the Forbes list of 50 women over 50 in Europe, Africa, and Middle East. Give it up. So Gamze will share her personal story as an entrepreneur, what she has been through with the ups and downs, because she has gone through all sorts of financing rounds. Gamze, the floor is yours. You want to get up? Okay. As you wish. Let's go there. Okay.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much, Melek, for your kind words. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the last session. I'm sure that you're so tired, but we will do our best to explain, especially my journey through the from scratch, exactly the scratch, to a publicly traded company. Yes, I'm an entrepreneur, the founder of and the chair of Big Chefs. Big Chefs is a restaurant group operating in 11 countries with 5 different brands and a total of 140 restaurants and more than 4,000 employees. Today I want to share how I transformed a company that I started with 100% bank loan into a large publicly traded corporation. To be honest, I wasn't born into the restaurant business. I'm not a chef, and I never studied gastronomy. I graduated in business administration from one of the Turkey's top universities, Middle East Technical University in Ankara, and started my career in the corporate world in the defense industry. Along the way, I got married, I had 2 sons, and then unfortunately experienced the challenge of a divorce. But on the other hand, I grew up in the southeastern parts of Turkey in a city called Diyarbakır. It's just right near the Syrian border. We were exactly like those big Italian families. A lot of cousins. You know, the long tables, delicious cuisine. Hospitality is just in our genes. Food wasn't just about eating, it was the best way to bring our large family, neighbors, friends together. So I decided to take a risk and jump right into the restaurant business in Ankara. But there was a problem. I had absolutely no capital. Zero, no family investment, no financial support behind me. I was a single mom with 2 sons. So what did I do? I opened my first restaurant with 100% bank loan. I borrowed $2,500 from a bank in 2007. The bank loan was the first stage of my growth journey. I opened a small size cafe, very small, and thank God the business went very well. And in the beginning, we expanded step by step using the revenue we made from our daily sales. We opened 4 restaurants in Ankara and started franchising. I had a great team, by the way. I was so lucky. But after a point, I realized that in order to expand, especially in a massive market like Istanbul, because all my restaurants were in Ankara and one in Gaziantep. It's also in the southeastern parts of Turkey. So to go into a jungle like Istanbul, very big market, I didn't not only need capital, but also a new vision, new support. So this brought me to a second stage, a strategic partnership. About 2 years after starting the business, I partnered with Mr. Saruhan Tan, whose family founded Turkey's first department store chain, YKM. Most of the Turkish friends know that since we were the child. We know the Yeni Kara Mürsel retail stores. So he was basically raised in the family in the retail business. We established a 50-50 partnership with him, and he had an incredible experience in retail, So finding the good locations because of in the retail business. So we opened our first restaurant in Istanbul, the flagship restaurant in Etiler. So, this partnership gave me much more rather than money. Also fresh perspective, and our growth really accelerated. And thanks to our great performance in Istanbul, we started expanded across Turkey with franchises and with also company-owned restaurants. And we quickly reached 13 restaurants in 4 different cities in a couple of years. Then 3 years later, we opened our first international location in Dubai, in the Emirates. We grew very fast in the Gulf region, and by 2015, we reached almost 27 locations. But at some point, Saruhan and I realized that if we wanted to accelerate our growth, we couldn't do it alone by 2 of us. The company needed much more capital that we cannot afford as 2 partners. And also, our international ambitions called for a broader perspective. So we decided to bring in a private equity. Our private equity partner was Taksim Capital, a European fund that managed investments from very globally respected institutions such as EBRD and IFC. And they brought not only capital, but also governance, discipline, proper board structure, and an international perspective to us. For many entrepreneurs, giving up a share of their company can be a very hard decision because partnerships require compromise. You no longer have the freedom to make every decision on your own. But at the same time, the partnerships give the resources, support, and confidence to think bigger. With Taksim Capital, we built a new corporate headquarters, moved to a centralized production model, and started launching new brands. And it was the beginning of a completely different chapter for the company. And also just 1 year later, after we opened our first company-owned restaurant in Frankfurt, Germany. And so we signed a lot of JV agreements in Germany, Netherlands, and Belgium as well. So we became a really international restaurant chain. As you know, private equity investors are not long-term owners. They typically stay for 5 to 7 years. They invest, they double or triple what they put, and then they exit. By 2023, both sides were ready for the next step because they invested us in 2015, 2016, and 2023, we were ready. And they needed a successful exit, and we needed a platform for the future growth. So we made the decision to go to the public. Big Chefs, a brand that started with a bank loan, went public. We became the first food service company in Turkey to list on the stock exchange. And also a female entrepreneur, a woman, and founded by a woman entrepreneur. Thank you. For me, it was more than an IPO. In the 100th anniversary year of the Republic of Turkey, which was 2023, a company founded by a woman had rang the bell at the Istanbul Stock Exchange, so that felt really very deeply meaningful for me. And after going to public, our company became more transparent, accountable, and sustainable. Today, we are still growing, acquiring new brands, building new partnerships, exploring new opportunities, both in Turkey and beyond. I'm not CEO anymore. I'm right now the head of the chairwoman. Not anymore an entrepreneur company. Now it's a big corporation right now, so I'm proud of this. So when I look back today, I can clearly see that the story of Big Chefs is really the story of using 4 different growth tools: bank loan, a strategic partnership, a private equity investment, and IPO. I never believed in the idea of keeping it small just because it is mine. I always believed in building something, creating more value. If I didn't take all those steps, a company started with 100% bank loan cannot come to approximately 4,000 million USD projected gross sales end of this year. That's why I believe entrepreneurs should always grow with partnerships, investment funds, loans, or capital markets. Let me end with the words of Yunus Emre, one of Turkey's great Sufi poets. He said, "If we are divided, we disappear. If we share, we prosper." I want to repeat it in Turkish as well. Bölünürsek yok oluruz, bölüşürsek tok oluruz. In a world that often celebrates individual success, this timeless wisdom reminds us that the growth comes through collaboration, generosity, and community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gamze. Your company is like a business case of all the stages, and there has to be so many things done right and so much work that goes into it. And I want to ask you this later, but think about it. You raised your children and your company at the same time, and I don't know if you exited from the children a little bit. Are they as independent? I don't know, but there must be such parallels in between the two. So we heard about this $2,500 bank loan. That was the foundation of the dream, and a lot of courage on your end. Now we want to hear the bank's perspective, because, you know, we have as an entrepreneur, I have a love and hate relationship with my bank. Some calls I love, some calls I dread. Certain things are total surprises. But there's a way to manage that relationship so that we can leverage our relationship with the banks and the wisdom of the team that's working with us. And today we are super lucky to have a leader who is not only a leader in her own field, but she's one of the top women advocates in Turkey, investing in women and keeping that agenda in her organization, Selin Öz. Head of Entrepreneurship and Banking at Garanti BBVA. Selin is a banking professional, an entrepreneurship and sustainability consultant with over 23 years of experience, an understanding of the small and medium-sized enterprise banking, inclusive growth finance, non-financial banking, overseas funds, entrepreneurship and sustainability. She has led the development and implementation of the Women Entrepreneurship Program at Garanti, Turkey's first private bank with a specific program for women entrepreneurs, as a worldwide best practice. And I think that's taught in which school? The case, as a case? With IFC, it's an IFC case. She is also the architect and co-founder of Garanti Partners Entrepreneurial Acceleration Program. In 2013, she received the Women in Business Award by EBRD. And now, embrace yourself for the lessons that we can learn. The floor is yours, Selin.
Thank you very much, Melek, for your nice words. Good afternoon. Sorry. Can you hear me? I was a bit of a struggle. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be part of this conversation on investing of our personal and business financial future. For more than 20 years, I've worked closely with women entrepreneurs from different sectors and from different stages of growth. I have also seen financing conversation from the banking side of the table. Years ago, I met a woman who ran a small textile atelier. She was producing beautifully crafted pieces, but when it comes to financing, her records weren't fully structured. What stood out was her determination to formalize her process. That taught me that being finance ready is not about starting perfect, but about taking those steps to build trust early on. And this experience taught me one important lesson. Access to finance does not start at the loan application. The business that access finance more easily are usually not the businesses that need money most urgently. They are the businesses that become ready before the needs become urgent. That readiness is built through clarity, credibility, discipline, and relationship. Today, I would like to share a banker's perspective on what makes a business finance ready and why. For women entrepreneurs, financing should be understood a part of much broader growth ecosystem. This slide summarizes the central idea. Finance readiness starts earlier than financing. When an entrepreneur comes to a bank, the financing conversation is not only about amount requested, it's about whether the business can explain itself clearly. Can the entrepreneur explain the cash cycle? Can she show reliable records? Can she demonstrate a realistic growth path? Or has she built relation before the need become urgent? This is why I frame readiness through 4 elements: clarity, credibility, relationship, and ecosystem. Clarity means knowing your numbers. Credibility means creating trust. Relationship means engaging before there is pressure. And ecosystem means using networks, education, and marketing access to strengthen the business. Finance-ready business become growth-ready business. Before moving to the bank's perspective, I would like to ground this discussion in a few global benchmarks. The first number is the $1.9 trillion financing gap estimated for women-owned micro, small, and medium enterprises in developing countries. This is not a niche issue. This is one of the largest untapped growth opportunities in the global economy. The second number is 9%. According to the World Bank Global Findex, only a small share of women in developing economies borrow to start or operate a business. And only about half of those women use formal financial institutions. And the third insight comes from OECD. Financial capability depends not only on knowledge, it also depends on confidence and behavior. And according to OECD research, only around 1/3 of adults reach the minimum target financial literacy score. For me, these numbers lead to one conclusion: financing alone cannot close the gap. Access to finance must be combined with capability, confidence, and opportunity. And after 20 years of working with women entrepreneurs, I believe something else. The financing gap is often described as capital problem, but it's also confidence problem. Many women are more prepared than they think. Sometimes the challenge is not only access to capital, it is access to confidence, network, and visibility. From a bank's perspective, Financing is rarely only about money. It's about reducing uncertainty. A bank is trying to understand whether a business can create a successful cash flow, manage risk, and use capital productively. This is why visibility matters. Can the business explain how money enters, leaves, and returns? Are revenue, costs, and obligations clearly documented? Can entrepreneur translate ambition into realistic plan? One of the strongest lessons I have learned is when financial processes are clearer and more structured, visibility increase. Many entrepreneurs create value, employ people, and serve customers. But when financial records become more structured and transparent, business become easier to finance. And when a business become harder to understand, financing become harder to access. Passion matters, vision matters, but passion without numbers does not create confidence. At Garanti BBVA, after many years of working with women entrepreneurs, we learned that this challenge cannot be approached by only as financing. Capital is necessary, but it is not sufficient. One lesson we learned over the years is that financing alone rarely creates sustainable growth. The businesses that grow most successfully are usually those that combine capital with capability. That is why we build an ecosystem rather than a financing product. We did not set out to create a financing program. We set out to create an environment where women entrepreneurs could grow sustainably. This is why our approach has been built around 4 pillars: access to finance, education, capacity building, visibility and role models, and access to market. Education helps entrepreneurs make stronger decisions. Visibility helps them build confidence and credibility. Role models demonstrate what is possible. Market access turns capability into opportunity. The objective is not only one-time loan. The objective is repeatable growth system. We are incredibly proud of Gamze Cizreli, who won Turkey's Women Entrepreneur competition and become the first woman entrepreneur to lead a company to an IPO in our country. Her journey of building trust step by step from local success to national growth stands as a role model for us. As we have supported entrepreneurs over the years, one key insight stands out. Entrepreneurs are actually managing 2 balance sheets at the same time. One is the future of the business, the other is the personal financial future. And one of the most important transitions in entrepreneurship is moving from personal credibility to institutional credibility. This is especially important in family businesses, where personal and business finance are often intertwined. Now, let me make this practical. First, know your cash flow, not only your revenue. Revenue shows activity, cash flow shows survival. Keep clean and visible records. The more structured the business is, the easier it becomes to finance its growth. Separate personal and business finance. Women need both a strong business identity and their own personal financial identity. Build a bank relationship early. The best time to speak with a bank is before the emergency. And on the other side, don't wait until financing becomes urgent. And do not accept one loan to solve a business model problem. Do not mix personal expenses with business operations. And do not tell a story only with emotions. Tell it with vision and support it with numbers. Let me close with the main thought I would like to leave with you. Women-led growth is not only about individual success. When women entrepreneurs become financially stronger, the impact extends beyond one company. It reaches employees, families, supply chains, communities, and future generations. The number matters, but not because they are large. They matter because behind them are thousands of entrepreneurial journeys. And those journeys taught us something important. Sustainable growth requires more than capital. It requires entrepreneurs to build three things at the same time: financeable business, a trusted financial identity, and resilient personal future. When those three come together, growth becomes more sustainable, opportunity becomes more accessible, and impact extends far beyond one company. That is the future we should be building together. Thank you.
Finance is not only about capital, and I think in a prior panel, Tess mentioned that women own 15% of the world's assets. So finance also brings power and choice and the way we can shape the future in a sustainable way. And you should have seen Elizabeth. She was nodding all the time. She did so much nodding. It ties together the panel very well. If you remember the holistic model, here we have role models. Access to finance is one of the angles with the do's and don'ts she mentioned. Education sits right here, and access to markets sits right here. So the way we are going to continue the discussion is going to be in a informal way. And I'm going to introduce both Özlem and Elizabeth. First, let me do the introductions, and then I'll go to the questions. After this discussion, I have one question to the panelists, and we want your questions. There's a lot of wisdom here, so please do take advantage. Elizabeth Vasquez, President and co-founder of WeConnect International. Elizabeth is the president and CEO and co-founder of WeConnect International, a global nonprofit that educates and connects women-owned businesses to qualified buyers around the world, and we have a chapter in Turkey. As the head of WeConnect International, she is responsible for mission delivery and measurable global impact at scale. The co-author of the book, Buying for Impact, How to Buy from Women and Change Our World. She is a Business 2.0 and Business 20 and Women 20 representative to advance G20 commitments. In addition, she is a member of the Procter & Gamble Supplier Diversity Advisory Council and served as a member of the UN Secretary General's high-level panel on women's economic empowerment. Who is here WeConnect International member? Okay. When she talks about it, you should consider becoming members. So this is my pitch. And Özlem Denizmen, the founder and CEO of Monay, right? Because I say money, it sounds like, it looks like money, but it's Monay, a technology company. But beyond that, she has been an advocate of financial literacy in Turkey. She's a serial entrepreneur, financial well-being pioneer, and a global advocate for women's economic empowerment. She began her career on Wall Street as a financial analyst before returning to Turkey to take on senior leadership roles at Doğuş Group, one of Turkey's largest conglomerate. She's the founder and CEO of Monay, a mobile financial platform built on behavioral science. She has also founded Para Durumu, a multi-channel financial education platform, and FODER, Financial Literacy and Inclusion Association of Turkey, collectively reaching millions through digital content, education, and advocacy. Her leadership extends to sustainability and global governance as the first Turkish board member of Global Reporting Initiative, the world's leading authority on sustainability reporting standards. So I'll start with Özlem. Özlem, if I were you, what would I ask you to start with? How would you like to start?
Do you like money?
I like money, but I have my mother's advice. I don't get it. It's been a long time to get it, how to manage it.
Well, actually, I'd like to ask if money was a friend of yours and sitting next to you, what would your feelings be? You can maybe talk with the person next to you. How would you feel about money? What emotions does it intrigue in you? Could we do that for 30 seconds?
Sure.
What do you feel when I say money? If you had more money, how would that make you feel? Freedom.
Freedom,
And
power.
sometimes we get scared, right? So, thank you very much again, Melek, and so inspiring everybody from Mexico, Congo, from everywhere. Met so many people, and I was thinking, why are you here the last 3 days? You have dreams, right? You're so inspiring. You're here to be inspired and inspire. You have dreams, and dreams are sort of like our life is like a movie or like a TV series with chapters and etc. And we are the director, we are the producer of the series, and money is just the funding part of things. But a lot of us think money is the blocker, and we can't even dream. So actually, it is just the financing, as Celine very nicely put so, and Gamze demonstrated. We all have a relationship with money, and it has been my dream to change that, especially women's relationship with money and institutions' relationship with women about money, which Celine is very, very much doing on the banking side. So if you look at Turkey on the financial literacy side, we can think about our relationship with money in three folds. One is, how motivated are we to do something about it? The second, that's called the attitude. The second is how knowledgeable we are. The third is our behaviors, our day-to-day actions. It's like, losing weight. Am I motivated to do it? And do I have the knowledge of what to do? Am I doing it? In Turkey, there's a lot of development the last 15 years. On the first one, we are more and more motivated to manage our money better. And women are even more motivated than men, research shows. In terms of knowledge, there's also a lot of increase. But in terms of behavior, we are very, very low. We just we don't know how to do it, where to start, what to do. There's inflation, there's so many things to accuse. And that very much leaves us behind. And that's what I've been working on financial behavior change, financial health, which in the next round maybe I can talk more.
Okay, I was telling somebody at dinner that the interest rates in Turkey are around 40-something%. And she said, what? But inflation is so high, you have to look at the real interest rate and calculate all the hidden costs and all those things. So thank you very much. So Elizabeth, you work with women entrepreneurs across a dozen of countries. What is the single biggest barrier that keeps women and women-owned businesses from accessing larger markets and customers? Where do you see that coming from? Because BeConnect works to lift that barrier.
So first of all, thank you for this incredible opportunity to be with such an inspiring group of women leaders. I'm so grateful to Irene and to the entire team and to Kagidare and the entire team for making this conversation possible in these last 3 days. I think fundamentally, this question, that's such a good question. What do you think about money? Money is neither good nor evil. It's how we spend it. It's, do we spend our money with purpose? Do we allow it to control us? It's a $126 trillion global economy. There is plenty of money in the world. That's not the problem. And I think fundamentally, if we think about what are the problems of the world and what is my purpose, what is my role in solving even just one of those problems. If you can solve a problem, people will pay you. So when you get overwhelmed, I don't have enough money, just step back and think about, how can I be helpful? How can I solve problems that people are willing to pay me to solve? It's really not a lot more complicated than that. And if we decide to organize not as an individual, how do I be helpful and how do I get help and ask for help, but how do we do it as a community? This is a very powerful community. We represent $30 to $35 trillion in annual purchasing power as women. So if we decided to spend our money with purpose, and we spent just 10%, we don't have to spend all of it, just 10% of it with other women, we collectively would have $3 trillion every year to decide how we spend that money with the rest of the world, because we do. We spend it on each other, we take care of everyone around us, the kids, the community, are the people we employ. And so I think sometimes we get overwhelmed because it's an overwhelming moment in time where we don't control much of anything. But if we focus in on those one or two or three things that we really can control, and we do that with purpose, then we really can fundamentally change the world that we live in, because how we spend our money says everything about who we are and what we value. So I think we just go back to the basics and develop a more healthy relationship with money, to think of it as something that can be a lot of fun and have huge, huge impact.
Thank you. And I will ask a question. Actually, that was asked before by my mentor, Tess, in a different session. How many of you track the money you spend from women-owned businesses? How do you track it? Tess, when she asked that question, we all thought like we don't track. So with that purpose, if we all track where we spend our money, and when she asked for tour operator recommendation in Turkey, she asked for a women-owned business tour operator recommendation. So we can always choose how to track it, so that we realize our power. So we'll be eating at Big Chefs quite a lot as a result. All these businesses that are women-owned, if we have a choice. I want to continue from you to share us about what WeConnect does. How does your platform help women entrepreneurs access markets?
So we're very fortunate. 18 years ago, and I can't even believe I'm saying it, 18 years ago, I started working with a bunch of corporations who were saying, where are the women? They're not knocking on our door. We want to buy from them, but where are they? And do they only offer, corporate gifts and some, marketing services? Both of those, very important. All these corporations buy that. But these corporations that just with the ones we work with have $4 trillion in annual purchasing power. And they want to spend a lot more of it with women-owned businesses. But we have to be much better as a community of helping each other. We've got incredible associations, NGOs, the corporations here that actually really care about this space, we as individuals. But collectively, if we just got a little more organized and helped each other to show up and to promote each other, there's so many opportunities for all of us, because how many of you are sellers? How many of you sell stuff?
Sell a product
Sell.
or a
Product
service.
Okay, how many of you are buyers? Okay, the truth is we are all sellers, we are all buyers. And if we can just remember that, and then we are all partners. So let's do a better job of standing up for each other, introducing each other. So these corporations, they're looking for you. They want to buy from you. So you can register for free at WeConnectInternational.org. And so that when these corporations put in a keyword search for a product or service, your company can actually be more easily found. And when you're found and you get corporate contracts or other contracts and you have a purchase order, banks will chase you. Investors will chase you. And so we really have to think about the bigger picture of how we all leverage our purchasing power so that we create the visibility that makes it easier for women to deliver solutions to the world's problems.
So in 3 steps, what do companies do to become a member? What do the entrepreneurs do?
Can I take you everywhere with me? You're amazing.
No, because you are going so around it. So like, what are the specific steps?
Okay, so if you're a corporation and you're looking for women-owned businesses, you can join WeConnect International as a member buyer, and we will teach you how to leverage your purchasing power, how to track your spend with women-owned businesses, get your baseline, and how to increase that spend. If you're a woman-owned business, you can register for free. We can also certify that you are at least 51% owned, managed, and controlled by 1 or more women. And that is a criteria that the corporations have established. So they want to make sure that if they're going to go out of their way to buy from women-owned businesses, they want to make sure that that money is actually going to women because of the way you spend that money, the way you hire people, the way you reinvest it in your families and communities. So we make it super easy.
And there's a fee to get certified.
There is, and we use that fee to pay local, usually women-owned businesses, to be assessors, to verify the documents. So it is a rigorous process to make sure that the money is going to go to the women who have earned that revenue.
Okay, this is a circular economy, and I think I have asked all the questions. Okay, so this is on the institutional side, organization side, whether you want access to markets and whether you want to invest in the marketplace, especially for web signatories. This is one of the things you need to work on as a company. So it's a great alignment. So on the personal side, you are almost like a behavioral scientist looking at triggers, understanding how people have an association with money. And you have distilled all this knowledge to an app so that you can scale your impact and intimacy with one-on-one with your target audience. So how does money work? How does this system work? Can you tell us more?
Sure. It actually stands for Money AI, like Mon.ai. Mon.ai is we didn't want to push AI on to consumer. So clarity is the #1 skill that anybody needs in today's world. Very clear thoughts, very clear words, very clear. That's why lawyers are better wipe coding than computer scientists today. And one of the things about money is that you have to have extreme clarity with what you want to do, which is your goal. So we start with goal. We clearly identify the person's goal and actually increase the motivation of the person nudging on a daily basis as to why it's amazing, that goal. If it's a car, we talk about how the leather is going to smell when she or he gets into the car the first day. So using behavioral science and psychology, which was, Nobel Prize winning. So one, we start with the goal and living with the goal. And we have a score that actually, kind of like FICO, but it is only measuring the behavior and the result of the behavior. And it's very much very much showing if this person is trying, is showing progress from yesterday to today. And with the goal, trying to reach the goal, spending tracking, and also, we find their spending weakness, hotspot. So, for example, let's say that we like eating, but we like eating, sweets more. In terms of spending, we all have a spending weakness. For example, it could be, cosmetics. Okay, Cleopatra ran 20 years. We remember her eyeliners, right? So there might be, in terms of people and their spending weakness, we spot what that is, and we actually show, hey, we can take a little bit away from your eye, liner, whatever, and put that into SpaceX IPO. Well, this is not an investment recommendation now. But so there's a mind shift. This was talked about also this morning that we're trying to do on a daily basis. So, and then the third part of it is that increasing continuously the person's financial knowledge for better behavioral decisions. So with 300,000 people, on average, we have an average person on our application is about 31, 32 years old, which is Turkey's average. And their salary is about $1,500 per month. And we are able to have them save and invest about 7%. And with 300,000 people that we have on platform, that we purposely didn't scale more than that yet, because we do a lot of R&D. So we have them saved about, in this economy with inflation and all, somewhere around $350 million in the last 12 months. So we're talking numbers, we measure everything, and we just continuously congratulate the progress. You're better, you're doing well. And what, Celine said and Gamze said, you need confidence. You need confidence, because your money is not your self-worth. Your financial identity. That's why it should be, an algorithm has to be working with young girls starting from age 3 onwards, and we have that too. So it is all methodology, algorithm, and being very human.
Is it multi-language?
It will be. I have we have a dream with my team. We are AR First now. We used to be a team of 25 people. Now it's 5 of us, actually. And so our dream is to reach 1 billion people, and working with you guys. So anybody wants to do something in their country. So we're just gonna, we're about to pick our first country, and we plan on moving from B2B, like we go inside a business, in a financial institution or any other business, and then grow from there, picking ideas with some great women on my table. And so thanks for giving that opportunity.
Of course, I'm all about laying out the business pitches for everybody. And one last question. We talked about the future generations, and you said, when you have a girl, and so much formatting comes in terms of all sorts of do's and don'ts. What could we do for the future generations to raise women who have a healthy relationship with money?
Very quick and precise, try to be. We all have a money character. Gamze, 2 sons you have?
Yes.
Gamze's 2 sons have developed money characters from looking at their father and Gamze. I have developed my money character genetically and epigenetically at home. So beware of what we are pushing to our children. That's number one, for a girl. And 7 to 14 years old, the spend, save, share, having the jars and having it, showing the first acumen on how to manage money in 1 week. 14 to 18-year-old, it's extremely important for a girl to do competitive sports, which is proven, scientifically, in order to be successful also with money, as well as get the allowance on a monthly basis and start investing. What is talked at the dinner table should be family values, which are in line then with financial investing opportunities that exist. Why should the girl, 15 years old, invest in copper with her mother? Because of data centers that are opening and we need more copper. That's simple, right? And then you should also know that 55% of the IPOs in technology stocks go less than what it was on the IPO day 1 year later. And that's what you tell the girl when she's thinking about the, SpaceX IPO. So, and there's $124 trillion that are changing hands now going into women. There's a lot of business to be there on wealth management. So, but the woman, the young girl has to have the financial identity. When they're 18, they should be left alone, no money given. I didn't take money. I'm sure many of us didn't take money since 17, 18. And first salary, first credit card, first of everything's extremely important. The credit card habits develop the first 2 years, and that's it. It's hard to change afterwards. So with an algorithm, it can be managed. It should be looked at systematically and also scientifically and also learning always. And that's what we can do for our girls, I think.
Thank you. So I have one last question to the panelists, and we'll open up to your questions. Selin, I will start with you. Looking ahead, what's one financial behavior and one ecosystem change that will most accelerate women's wealth accumulation globally? What do you think?
To increase the financial confidence and to encourage women to take calculated and informed risk. Because to be informed, because generally, not only specifically for our country, globally, women doesn't want to take the risk and don't want to have a conversation with banking. That's why I said connect with your bank before the need of the loan and other financial needs. The information, it's a financial literacy in a very basic way, but to be informed, to know what you are doing, which risk are you taking, it's really important. And to increase this confidence, increase the investing wealth, to have wealth, and that's why confidence and to be informed is really important.
Thank you. Gamze?
If I had to choose one financial behavior, it would be women to think not earners, but being owners. Usually, women are, yes, increasing in the workforce, but the real wealth comes from being bold, being more courageous, having the equity, having your own company and everything. So owning businesses or intellectual property or investments. So this is so important. We have to change our minds. The woman has to change their minds. And the one ecosystem change should be, every time I say to the government, to the big corporations and everyone, women-owned businesses should be more into the supply chain. If government or the large corporations should only, for example, put a code that one proposal, for example, if they get 3 proposals from the for a procurement code, one should be at least from a woman-owned business. This is what we do in our company. If a woman owns a company, or the female founder businesses usually do that. I'm sure that you say that if, for example, you go to Big Chefs for your having a dinner or a lunch. So what we do is, for example, we are buying some of our ingredients from the women producers in the rural parts of Turkey. So including them into supply chain is very important as far as reaching the capital as well, because it's economies of scale. So I shall tell that this will change dramatically the women
Thank
business.
you. Do you have anything to add? I think you
Yeah.
said it all.
No, seriously, I want to move as much money into the hands of women as fast as possible. And let me be clear, I'm not saying take it from men. I'm saying let's create new value. Let's create more wealth. Because then the way we spend it is with everyone. Everyone benefits when women prosper, when they take risks and start and grow businesses, and we all invest in each other. We're all also investors in different ways, families, and be supportive of each other, be thoughtful. Let's just be a little more purposeful in how we spend our money, because we can create incredible, incredible wealth that will be multiplied. And then we have the ability to fix all the broken stuff that we see around us. That's the key.
Thank you. Özlem?
Sorry.
I'm not giving up my mic.
I was just gonna show something practical to what Elizabeth is saying. Okay, you see the ring in my. Okay, see that I saw this in a shop, right? I go and hold it and say, "Are you a need? Are you a want? Do you have to come home with me? How many times I'm gonna use it? At what point I need to go in debt to buy you? Instead of buying you, can I actually invest and have passive income and start my business?" So this is a 10-second rule, which works great. So what I'm trying to show with this is that you need pragmatic daily things. Otherwise, it's just like losing weight. It's by the way, it's extremely pragmatic. It goes to this. So unless we have for example, pretend I bought it rule. You see something, beautiful dress, you don't buy it the same day, you buy some ETFs. And you say, pretend I bought it. It works. So we need this daily behavioral changes in order to be, there's so many saving accounts, great banks, great products. But people don't need more saving accounts or more products. People need to be able to secure their financial future, because for us women, security is the #1 thing in our head. We are protectors. We think about everybody, the elderly, everybody lives now until 100, and then, so there's so much that we have on our things. So I would say use these pragmatic things and resilience. Like Gamze said, just have your equity. I agree with that, but I would say resilience, there's a war, there's divorce, there's a life event, there's something, always. And illness and elderly. And in resilience, I think we need community, we need each other here, the sisterhood, let's all hold hands, because resilience happens psychological very much. You have so much debt, you need to close your debt. There are debt closing centers in the US. You go and cry, that's the first thing you do. It's very hard to have that sort of thing. So daily, practical, and the sisterhood, I would say.
And I will chime one last comment to the question, but if you have questions, please line up with the microphones so we can take them. From my personal experience, I have had the chance to go to 10 cities with FODAR that you have founded, and our Social Security Administration, and give financial literacy trainings, as well as teach women their rights with their for retirement. And what I've seen is education didn't matter. What you learn in the family is what's imprinted. So the way you spend your money, the way you are careful or careless, this is exactly what you are gonna inherit to your children. So if we change the way we change our relationship with money, that's going to help future generations. We were also a part of EBRD, the European Research Bank and Development, and we saw when they gave credit to banks to loan to women-owned businesses with no collateral requirement, they asked the banks to flag women-owned businesses. In Turkey, banks didn't have that data with a certain definition. So when that data became clear, when the women-owned businesses became a category, then the products rolled out. For most of the banks, this was a new segment. Some banks were earlier, but for most of them, it really mattered to know who is a female-owned business. So that really matters. And we can take the floor to questions. Please introduce yourself, your name, your organization, country, and your question. Can we get the mic?
Give me one
I think, can you try again?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, now it works. My name is Hülya Kurt. I live in Switzerland, origin Turkish, and I'm a business owner there. And my question goes to Gamze, because she said I started my business with 2,500 bank loan. So my interest is, did you face any challenges when you requested that bank loan? Did they requested any kind of security? What obstacles? We know for a fact that banks, especially back then, might be difficult. Second, how long did it take you from creating this first cafe until you started to see that wonderful acceleration of your business?
Yes, I faced a lot of difficulties getting the bank loan because I didn't have, any house. We were living in a house with the 2 kids, and it belongs to them. So I cannot give as a collateral to the bank. So I went, I think, 5, 6 banks. One of my friends from the university, from Middle East Technical University, was the credit manager. Yes, the networking is so important. I always tell this, the networking. And he said that this amount is high for his limit. But if we go together to the the assistant general manager for the credit bank, which was the Yapı Kredi Bank, I can tell here, we went together, with Ankara, with his car. We went to the headquarters of the bank, and I talked with the assistant general manager, who was just responsible for the credits, and I explained, I saw my business plan and everything, and they got the risk. Yes,
Perfect.
but it took like 6 months for me to explain myself and everything. So maybe now they say that we saw the sparkling eyes on you, and sometimes I think it's easier for women entrepreneurs for now because the banks have limits much more. I think this time on these years, women entrepreneurship. Nobody was talking about the women entrepreneurship in 2007.
Absolutely.
And then day by day, step by step, I came today. When I was just building this cafe, with a small cafe with 7 employees, we were all together. I didn't think that this should be such big as a public company today. But every step, right now Özlem said that you get confidence when you come to a success. When your first restaurant is going good, you say that, okay, I can open a new one. So go to the bank and increase your limit. And then the third one and fourth one. If the business goes well, if you are doing well in terms of revenues and everything, and you have a good reputation, then it goes. The strategic partner, Mr. Saruhantan, came and found me. I didn't go. He had a dinner in Ankara because he lives in Istanbul. He came for another, a business trip for his retail chain store. And he had a dinner there, and he said that, why this restaurant is not in Istanbul, and who is the owner? So he just called me one day, and I didn't know him until that day. So he said, okay, let's talk about this. So day by day, step by step, yeah.
Thank you. And I love big chefs, by the way. I love big chefs. And
Thank you.
yeah, and to Özlem, if you want to expand, I live in Switzerland, happy to support.
Fantastic. Here. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Sudesh. I'm from Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much. That was absolutely fantastic. I think women in business or not in business should be economically and financially able to be enabled anyway. So that was fantastic. My question is, in your journey, if each of you could change one policy, one corporate practice, or one social norm tomorrow to accelerate women's economic participation, what would that be?
Who wants to go first? That's a loaded question. Do you accept partial answers?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would make it mandatory for employees to have financial well-being, because there's a lot of time lost thinking about money issues in a company. Productivity lowers, research shows that. That's one thing I can suggest.
Any other suggestions?
Yeah, organizations are built by people for people. And so I do think requiring how we track our money, and does any of it go to the communities that we're serving? Do we spend any of that money with those communities? I think that would be a game changer, because what I've learned in working with corporations or governments, they're not against buying from women-owned businesses. It just doesn't even occur to them. No one's asked them, internally or externally. So if no one's asking, no one's tracking, it doesn't happen. So I think just asking some simple questions about how are we spending our money is really, really important if we want to change who's receiving that money.
I'll share an example from Turkey around a legal and social norm. Before 1992, my mother was in real estate business. And before in 1992, when you had the divorce, if the real estate was on the woman's name, she got the asset. If it was on the man's name, he got the asset. And in marriages, men were accumulating the houses, the investments under their title to strap women into economic dependency. And my mother was always putting the table as she was selling the house to try to get the title to her name. And that law changed to be 50-50. And that changed a lot in terms of wealth accumulation or sharing of the resources. Because during marriage, whatever is accumulated goes 50-50. That changed a lot of the dynamics in Turkey. Anything you want to add?
Since I'm a banker, I would like to say about banking system globally or internationally. In scoring systems or evaluation systems, the important thing is not asking the gender question. It should be evaluated the performance of the business. The gender neutrality is important. I know that in our bank this is the gender neutral, but it should be the same in every bank or in financial systems. Thank you.
Thank you. If Gamze would like to tell me culturally or socially, what would you change?
Now, as I told my story, I'm a single mom with 2 sons right now. I want to tell something about socially. I worked like crazy, 7 days, like at least 16 hours, 17 hours. And my children were often left alone while I was building that big business. Right now, the older one is 31 years old. Thank God that he's a medical doctor in US right now. So yes, and the younger one is 23 years old, and he came back to US, and he's working in our company. But every choice in life comes with a sacrifice. When you choose one path, you give up another. So when I look back today, I sometimes think that, I always think that I could do a better way to balance between work and family and my, my social life. Now I'm almost 58 years old, and I said that I should balance it. I want to change. I should change it. Yes, and now I'm a speaker here. I'm in the host committee, and yes, I'm awarded with lots of international and Turkey awards like the Women Entrepreneur of the Year. But I feel tired right now in terms of, to be honest, it was a very difficult path. It was a very difficult years now came, but I should do more balance maybe. That's what I should change it.
Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you.
We called on you. We said, sisters and a few misters. So it's great to have a question from you. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Andrea Cortese. First, I would like to congratulate you all for a wonderful presentations you all made and express your experiences, how to make this world better and for the womenhood. And of course, from the men's point of view, I appreciate what you have communicated to us. Couple comments from men's
which
point of
organizations are you representing? Which?
Myself.
Yes. What country? Which organization? Before the question.
I was born in Italy, and I live in Washington, D.C. now. My wife is Irina Natividad. So I'm very happy to be, and we've been together 56 years, and
We want to put it into perspective, the question. Go ahead.
Officially 53 at the end of June. So we met when we were students at the university. So anyway, I would like to express a little bit of my personal experience you talked about on a macro level. I come from a large family in Italy, and we were agricultural farmers. And coming to New York, and you have to make a life of yourself. And so we were totally on our own. But one thing I learned from the parents is that you have to be disciplined, to make a life for yourself, when you come into a new country. So when we met Irene, we decided to, she's Asian, I'm Italian, so we have two separate cultures to bring it together. But we decided to make our own culture and grow it from there, like a tree. You have a little tree, you build it, and you prune it to make it work the way you want it. So we learned to be disciplined in our lives. For example, when we got married, Carlo comes along. The very first thing I did, the first month, I got him a Social Security number. And when I got paid, I got paid, and I paid myself first before we do anything else. And the first thing I did was buy a U.S. bond in the name of my son, since he was 1 month old.
You got 2 thumbs up from her.
So, and that, it's painful at the beginning, of course, but it gets to a point that it's kind of normal. Life goes on. When Carlo became age to go to school, we put him in a private school. We cashed in all those bonds, and we helped him to pay the tuition. So that helped us grow. At the same time, we went on to do other things and grow individually, and at the same time respect each other. A comment about the business owner owning shares. I always looked for shareholders' value. How can I invest in your business, and at the same time grow my investment in your company as a consumer? So that is important to me, the value that your company brings to my portfolio. And that is important to know about that. The other is as a woman, I do respect that. I think the word is discipline and commitment, and that it's important to to stick with it, not change your mind every other day, you know, and stay focused on what you do and grow from there. Other than that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our time is up, but we'll take that one question very quickly, and we'll answer it very briefly.
Sure. Thank you. And thank you, Andrea, for that advice. It's clear, I think the real delta around success also is about who you marry. I think that is important. I am wondering in terms
Your
of...
name, your country.
Okay, yes, I'm going to do that now. So my name is Dr. Samu Dube. I live in Washington, D.C. I was born in Zimbabwe. I grew up in South Africa, so you can choose which country you want to talk about. My question is around, so we spoke about how Big Chef, how you started, etc., and the confidence to actually launch a business. And I think there is kind of the gap that you are highlighting. I think one of the speakers was highlighting from confidence to really launching. And what's your advice for women to actually get from the passion factor, because passion, I can do this every day even if I'm not paid, but realizing that that passion can't be the launch, usually there is a gap. And many women-owned businesses really happen from, I saw my daughter having eczema and I started this whatever line of cosmetics. I liked clothes and then I started this fashion business, etc. That confidence factor, what's your advice on how women could build it? And if I may, as they conclude, what's the influence of your significant other who may not be an other right now, in how you launched your business and where you are right now, significant
So
marriage.
how do we build confidence, and what's the contribution of the significant other that you don't have? You can start.
You know, I'm passionate about the food, as I told you. You know, the food, the hospitality, and so I can maybe from the growing up in a family that gives you the confidence, it's so important as well. You know, my father was a doctor, he was a professor, my mother was a housewife, but they always give responsibility to us, and they, you know, we were all three of us, we were three sisters, and all of us have a great confidence in what we do. And I think it comes from the early ages maybe that I say that, okay, if I begin with this, I'm sure that I will do that. So I don't know how confidence comes. But
Any addition?
If I may, in terms of you know, speaking with data, when you hang out with confident people, you become more confident. So if I hang out with Gamze a little more, I'm going to take my company for a public in a little while. Because guess what? She's done it. So that is why the C word conversations is extremely important. I tell people, give me with AI your words that you spend per day. Like, what do you talk about? And I will tell you what your financial future is in the next couple of years. If you talk about the past, if you talk about other people, if you talk about how angry, it doesn't work. Future, even when I'm sitting with a table of friends, and I say, guys, it's like 50 minutes you talk about the past. Can we talk about your dreams? So we help each other. And like Gamze and I, or like you ladies, when you talk with each other, you talk about your dreams, the future, etc. I think hanging out with confident people more.
Yes, networks, building networks.
Also, being an expert in your business and what you are doing is very important, being confident. So, you know, when I begin in the first day and when I say that, okay, I can do that, I work more hard. I travel a lot, look at new concepts. And every day I do something new. So day by day, the confidence increases as well when you increase your expertise.
And I think that ties to your observation that when you know the problem and you know there's no answer, that's why you confidently build a solution for an example. I want to ask you for an applause for the panel. Thank you.